Nia adjusted the strap of her bag and stepped off the airport train into the bright terminal of Incheon International Airport. Her heart beat faster than usual, not because she was afraid, but because today she was choosing courage. She had left her comfort zone, left her familiar streets, left the safe routine of her life, all to answer one quiet question: what happens when you follow a feeling instead of fear? She scanned the crowd. Then she saw him, a young Korean man standing near the information desk. Calm, observant, kind eyes. For a second, the world felt quiet. If you believe growth begins with courage, pause right here, subscribe, like this video, and comment where you're watching from. Because this story is about more than meeting someone. It's about discovering who you can become. He stepped forward. Hi, are you Nia? His voice was gentle. Yes, she said, trying not to smile too widely. And you must be Joon. He nodded. Welcome to Seoul. They stood awkwardly for a moment, then both laughed. I was nervous, Nia admitted. Me too, Joon replied honestly. That small honesty changed everything. No pretending. No acting perfect. Just two people choosing openness. As they walked through the airport, Nia noticed how organized everything felt. Clean lines. Soft announcements overhead. People moving with purpose. You've traveled far, Joon said. That takes bravery. I almost didn't come, she confessed. He looked surprised. Why? I wasn't sure if I belonged here. He stopped walking. You belong wherever you're willing to learn. That sentence stayed with her. On the drive into Seoul, the skyline stretched beautifully in the distance. Joon pointed at buildings, explaining their history. Nia listened carefully, instead of comparing, instead of judging. She asked questions. And in your culture? He asked gently. She smiled. Family is everything. Music is everywhere. We celebrate loudly. He laughed. We celebrate quietly. They both smiled. Different. But not wrong. Just different. That was the first real lesson of the day. Difference is not distance. It's opportunity. Joon worked at a cultural museum downtown. When they entered, sunlight filtered softly across traditional artifacts. These objects tell stories, he said. They remind us who we are. Nia moved slowly through the exhibits. She noticed something. No culture is simple. No history is shallow. Every artifact represented struggle, growth, creativity. Back home, she said, our stories are passed through music and elders. Joon nodded thoughtfully. Here, many are passed through tradition and preservation. They stood quietly in front of an ancient display. Two cultures, two histories, one shared human experience. Learning. A group of school children entered the museum for a tour. Joon looked at Nia. Would you like to help? She hesitated. Then she nodded. Soon, she found herself explaining an exhibit to a curious little girl. Why is this important? The girl asked. Nia knelt slightly so they were eye level. Because when we understand where we come from, we know how to move forward. The child smiled. Joon overheard. Later, he said quietly, you teach with heart. She shook her head. I'm still learning. He smiled. That's what makes a good teacher. As they guided the children together, something shifted. This day was no longer about curiosity. It was about contribution.
Second lesson. When you share knowledge, you grow too. They sat near a large window, overlooking the city. I used to think I had to prove myself everywhere I go, Nia said softly. To fit in? Yes. Joon considered that. In Korea, he said, we're often taught to blend in, not stand out too much. She looked at him. So, we both carry pressure. He nodded. Different backgrounds. Similar struggles. That realization built something stronger than attraction. It built understanding. Third lesson. Under the surface, people are more alike than they appear. That evening, they walked along the calm water near the Han River. The city lights reflected beautifully. Peaceful. Balanced. Alive. I'm glad you came, Joon said. So am I, she answered. Not because of romance, but because of growth. I thought traveling here would help me find something, she admitted. And did you? She looked at the skyline.
Yes.
Confidence. She didn't need to become someone else to belong. She just needed courage to show up as herself. They stood quietly, watching the water move steadily forward. And she realized something powerful. Growth feels uncomfortable at first, but it feels peaceful once you step into it. Courage opens doors. Listening builds bridges. Culture is something to explore, not fear. And growth begins the moment you stop trying to fit in and start trying to understand. The world becomes smaller when we choose curiosity over judgment, and stronger when we choose connection over comparison. If this story reminded you that stepping outside your comfort zone can change your life, like this video. Subscribe for more stories that inspire courage and understanding. And comment where you're watching from, because every location represents a story worth learning. Nia didn't just travel to another country. She traveled into a better version of herself. And that journey is one anyone can take.